presenter, Emma Sutton. She's done quite a few BettaKultcha events, so she's quite confident on stage. But I want to give you a warm welcome to Emma Sutton. Thank you.
Tonight I'm going to talk to you about the bird who would not sing. And he lived in an island, and basically, apart from the people, they really only had one thing to do, which was to find their own unique song. They weren't like blackbirds and birds as we know it, where they've got a similar song. Every single bird has its own unique song, and they all looked different. And that was their entire purpose in life, was to find and sing their unique song. And if you ever went, they sounded amazing. There was none of these choirs. But this one bird was really nervous and couldn't sing his song. He could feel it inside him, but he just wasn't confident about getting it out there. He looked at the other birds and thought, well, their songs are so much better than mine. I'm not really sure I feel confident. And worse than that, when he looked in the water, he thought, actually, I just don't think my feathers are quite right. They're not quite beautiful enough. I don't feel confident in singing my song. And I love using nature as an analogy because it seems such a ridiculous thing that a bird would not sing their song. And yet, we have a reductionist kind of point of view when we look at ourselves and beauty. We think flamingos are beautiful. They have this pink foliage. Have you ever seen their knees? And then we don't have this big hang-up about flamingos having knobbly knees, although they win hands down at continence contests. Now, one of the things I do is I teach people to stand on stage and share their story. And some of the excuses I hear are amazing. I coached this one woman and she said she'd feel confident on stage if her hair was perfect. I was tempted to tell her she needed a hairdresser, not me. Now, there's a programme that you might recognise. It's just started last week. It's called The Voice, and it's staffed by musical luminaries such as Tom Jones, Jessie J, Will I Am, and that guy on the left. And it's all about listening to singers without judging them based on the way they look. And there was a fantastic young woman last week who was 24 and had lost all her hair, and she wasn't confident in singing her song because she was bald. It seemed a ridiculous thing to think that people's songs never come out because of the way they look. And now I found what my song was when I was about 10 or 11 years old. Funnily enough, I was sat on the toilet because in my house it was the only place for undisturbed, peaceful, quiet. It was a place to think. And I imagined myself talking to people. How strange is that? But I couldn't work out how that would happen in my life, so I hid out as an engineer. Now, I apologise to any engineers in the room because we don't actually do this. This is how it's portrayed. But I was an engineer. And I hid out so well, I got a PhD in it at Bradford University, and I did that for years. And then I kind of realised that that wasn't what I was here to do. It wasn't my purpose in life. And the pull to do something that was really my purpose in life became too strong. And one of my purposes is stories, is helping people tell their stories. And for me, they're the most important thing you can ever give me. Diamonds are great, but stories are better. A diamond with a story, ka-ching. But I'm kind of caught in this thing that actually I don't really want to be here telling these stories. There's part of me that would rather I could give them to anyone else, and you could stand up here and I could just relax and enjoy myself in the audience. Because I'm kind of caught between these two strong desires. One of them is to sing my song, and the other one is to hide his bag over my head and never do this stupid thing again. As I tweeted about earlier, why do I do it? And it's to do with, well, what's it to do with? It's to do with the bird, and it's to do with their feathers. Because when I look in the mirror, I don't look like my avatar. Admittedly, I've got arms and legs, which I'm quite happy about. But this avatar is the person I'd like to be. I'd like to be young, I'd like to have pink hair, I'd like to be thin. But actually I don't look like that. I'm more like this. But I have to say, with the fat stick thing and the hardest icon in this whole thing. So hard, I was trying to double chins and everything. This is my feathers. This is what I worry about. I don't worry so much about the message I'm going to say, but how people look at me. And I know that there are people in this audience who have amazing stories to tell. Things that they could entertain with just for 5 minutes. And partly won't because you're worried about your feathers. So we go back to the bird, and one day his song, just one note, slipped out. And he realised that the world didn't fall on its axes. And he didn't crumble. And he actually went, it felt quite good now. And he started to realise that the song was more important than how he felt about himself. So he started singing and singing, and he got better and better, and people loved it and praised him. And he thought, actually, what was I worried about so much? And he learned the most important lesson of all, which was that it's not being beautiful that makes us sing, it is singing our unique song that makes us beautiful.
Amen.
Oh.